Yo,
Yo,
boys.
apologies for the tardiness because some shit went down at the soccer pitch today, and
Spicy
that
drama.
was crazy, bro.
You wouldn't believe what happened, guys. It's
You won't believe what
crazy.
happened. Not clickbait. Gone wrong?
Something you have to
Huh?
see to
Gone
believe.
So
physical?
I wasn't there to de-escalate the situation, so I'm gonna need to
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
what
Big
happened
man
firsthand.
AK. Big man AK couldn't pull up the 47. He wasn't around, bro.
You didn't want that smoke.
Nah, bro, I don't carry a gun on me. This is Canada, bro. I'm Katniss with the boat
He's a sniper. I
Bars,
see, I
bars.
see.
in
Alright,
Miami
bro.
though. I keep the thing on me. In New York, the thing on me. But out here,
In New York, I got snipers, bro. You see red dots. You don't see no metal, bruv.
I see a lot of red dots in
right?
Brampton.
What?
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 I think we
What?
gotta cut that out, boys.
Anyways, we were just chilling, and then these like kids pull up, these Arab kids, Arabs
Yeah.
pull up, play with us. We were like, okay, let's play Habibi. We'll play. We were kicking the ball around. We were having fun. Um, and out of nowhere, bro, I don't actually know what happened because I was just passing with Hadi Yakan, the true Lebanese man, and um that like a bunch of these boys, these older guys pull up. We were playing with like actual kids,
Yeah.
like they were like grade 6,
Yeah.
bro. Just
I
the
know.
kids.
I saw the same. Yeah, the simulation
Oh
happened
yeah, yeah,
yesterday.
you were there. So yeah, but this time it was like different guys. We never seen those guys before. So it was a bunch of new guys, and they were all wearing
Oh,
winter
okay.
jackets. So they're roadmen. They're all wearing winter jackets. They pulled up, bro,
What?
and well, I was just passing, but they were like chatting. They were chatting for a good minute. And I don't know where like a big crowd pulls up and they were like beefing apparently. Like they're yelling. They were like, "Nah, I don't want to fight. Don't want to fight." So I came in, I was wondering what happened, bro. And they were pressing and I'm like, "What? Oh God, not again, bro. Not again. What did they do, bro?" And obviously he didn't do nothing, bro. He's just getting picked on. I feel so bad for him. And they were just like, bro, they're actually like they're saying that said something about one of the guy's moms. Obviously, he didn't do none of that.
Bro, hey,
Obviously,
this shit happens too often.
they just want to
Tell us
rile
saying
up,
that
bro. They
shit,
just want
man.
to fight, bro.
Uh,
And these
Always
guys are
point
like
stuff
trying to
like that.
fight. And I was like, nah, there's no way this is about to go down, bro. We pull up, bro. They're like, you say something about his mom. His mom. We want to fight. You want to fight? You want to fight? They're chatting all this shit, bro.
Yeah,
And bro, like they're like obviously we're trying to de-escalate the situation. We don't want nothing to happen,
yeah,
bro. But they kept
yeah.
pulling up. Like they want to beef, bro. Like they kept saying we want to fight, bro. And at one point, bro, like this guy comes up, bro, that he was the big boss. He had fur on his hood. It was no like regular North Face windbreaker. He had fur on his hood,
Oh
bro.
my god.
Canada Goose. He had a scar on his forehead, bro. It was like recent. It was like a gash, deep like this, bro. Pulled up, man. He was
This
like,
happened in the cage?
yes, in the
Yeah.
cage, bro. He pulled up. And he
This is
pulled up
that's
to
why
me and he
this is
was
so
like,
weird to me.
Because
so
the community is full of Arabs.
Yeah,
it was
but like
crazy.
still.
But this guy pulled up, bro, with his winter ass jacket in 20-degree weather, and he was like, "So you want to fight? You want to fight?" And obviously, it's like, "No, dude. Like, I didn't say nothing. Like, I don't know. Like, they're actually just trying to start shit. Like, we were just sitting
Yeah.
down and having fun. We were just playing with the kids."
Right,
And
right.
he was like, "No, no, 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 no. Like, my friends, they want to fight you, so we're going to fight." Bro, ScarJo looked crazy, man. I was like, "Damn, bro, this guy's actually gonna kill, bro." And then he kept talking, bro. He came up, big man. He was like, "Yo, like, I'm telling you, we didn't say nothing, bro. We were just having fun." And then he was like, he looked at his friends. They're like, "Oh, he wants to fight you. He wants to beef." And then he was like, "You know what? It's okay. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "Wow, this guy thinks he's a boss. He think he's OG man." And he dabbed us up,
Where's he
and
from?
I don't fucking know, bro. Probably Syria. Like,
What's this
never seen
Craig
this guy,
Henry? No,
Yeah.
I mean like in Ottawa. Like, why is this going down in Craig Henry?
bro. Because they just wanted to start shit, man. They just made us some stuff up that they wanted to fight, bro. And like, bro, like they brought the whole squadron up. They're all like middle schoolers, man. They just wanted to fight, bro. And I was like, oh my god, bro. That's actually silly, man. Anyways, we obviously said no, we don't want to fight. Let's just go. So we just left, and that was it, bro. That's why I showed up. A
And
little
they
bit
left
late.
right after, bro. That was like you knew
Yeah,
they just
no,
wanted to
they
start
all
shit.
pulled up just to beef. I
Bro,
actually like.
this
It's
is
so
crazy.
silly.
We're actually all in because all in a few segments ago they were talking about the shooting in or the stabbing or whatever in San
Serbia?
Fran. So
Oh, San Fran.
so we're talking. So same thing. We're talking about
Crime,
our
bro.
city,
Crime is everywhere, man. Even
the
in these big
crime.
cities.
Gotta watch out.
Nah, bro. Like it was actually goofy, man. These people
Gotta
are
keep
just
your
being
eyes peeled.
All I know is that we're not playing with those kids anymore, man. Because
This
they're just
reminds
like,
me.
shit.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I remember yesterday when the first kid pulled up and he asked to play. I thought at that time that we were at the bar and we were playing pool, and the other person was like, "Do you want to play against me?" And you're like, "Yo, don't." They're like they're gonna start small, and then eventually we will be out of a pool table. And the same thing happened, bro. They started with a little grade 7 kid,
Yeah.
and yeah, no more field for us.
I told you guys. I always say that, bro. I always say no, man. I always say no, and they said yes, and I was like, oh my god, bro. Guys, you gotta. The language barrier is always demon, bro. You can never talk it out. You need
Either way,
actually.
if you say no, what's
Hadi,
gonna happen?
you could have came in
Bro, we need
clutch.
we need we need
You
Hadi
were
and
two
Ahmed
What would I
A-Rab.
for
have
this.
done?
You would just spoken to them. You'd be like, wallahi,
Okay.
don't fight. Inshallah, Allah just wants peace, bro.
I would have done pretty much would have done the same thing as literally what.
Bro, because
Bro,
like
I know
anything,
that you guys were trying to leave the field, but like in my scenario, like I don't like if we were still
no,
like
I was
if
gonna
we were trying
leave.
to still
I
yeah,
was gonna
right,
leave.
right, I know, but like I'm saying like if we were still trying to play for an hour, like
I don't
we
care.
would have grabbed the field.
We would have grabbed it. Oh no.
Bro, who are we losing to? Like
Aren't we pretty much done
There was like
anyways?
14 people, bro.
yeah, but like
14
not the,
people who wanted to fight, bro. I
what the fuck are
it's
they?
not worth my
What do you
time.
mean? What do you mean?
It's not. We are adults, bro. We are adults. Anything that happens is actually like
Wait, are they like under 18?
yes, of course.
Oh,
We
okay.
can't
Oh, well,
fight
never
kids,
mind.
bro.
Okay, no, I
They're
didn't know they were
obviously under
kids.
18, but we can't fight kids, man.
Okay, no, I thought they were like adults.
No, bro, they're children, man.
Bigger kids.
Okay.
That's the thing, bro. Because like the
No,
Mandams,
because
they
the
were
people
like
who pulled up
really
yesterday
little.
were the people who pulled yesterday were not high schoolers. Like they were like
No.
adults.
No, it was
Yeah.
different kids. It was different
Yeah.
kids. Those
Oh,
guys wouldn't have fought. Those guys wouldn't have done anything,
Those
bro.
guys
It's a
were
maturity
chill.
difference. Those guys wouldn't have done anything, bro. Yeah, those guys were real ones. There's obviously a big maturity difference, and they looked a lot different, bro. They were wearing like black
wait.
winter
So I'm so
coats.
confused. So like, how old were they?
They're probably
They
like
were like
grade
what?
9, grade 8.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but they just wanted to fight, bro. But there's 14 of
Bro,
them.
they
They were
got
like,
balls pressed.
yo,
At
you know
least
what
grade
actually
11, grade
happened though?
12.
You know what actually happened?
What?
Okay, one of the kids, like the young kids, like we were just playing with like 4 like children, and one of them said the
Middle
N-word.
schoolers.
Yeah, one of them said the N-word, and he was like, "What's your name?" And he said his name, and then he said, "What's your mom's name?" "I'm gonna tell your mother that you said the N-word." And that's why I think he
Oh,
told his
okay. So he
friend,
was just scared. Yeah.
he just told his friends that like they said something about the mom so that they could beef.
Bro, I don't want beef. I'm good.
They're
To be
just being
honest,
silly, bro. Like they're just being
I'm a
silly.
vegetarian.
to be honest, like I don't know why they would kind of say that stuff. Like just tell them
What do you
don't say
mean?
that.
What do you mean?
Don't say the N-word.
I mean, yeah, I would tell them that, but I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, no, I agree. But it was just joking, bro. That's the thing. Like these people are like
Yeah.
it's obviously
You
just
guys
a
don't
great
know about the
maturity.
white life. The number one way to shut a kid up is to bring their parents into it.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, bro.
After it's over, the motherfuckers gonna get nervous.
Yeah, bro. It's whatever, man. These people are like they're just being silly, man. They're just being silly, bro. Anyways,
Bro,
man.
report them to SRB.
They go to SRB. Yeah. We
Bro, I'm
could,
saying
bro.
report. That's what I was saying yesterday. Where
Mr. Ghani is like acting though. He's not there. Like if
He's
he
not
was
there
there,
anymore,
that'd be a
yeah.
weapon. That'd be a weapon, bro.
Wait,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
no longer
Oh, yeah.
there.
Yeah.
When was that a thing? I forget.
No, Chadsy said that he's still there, but he like roams. He like
He is?
lingers. Yeah.
I thought y'all had a new principal.
When did
I
he
thought-
leave though? I don't remember
I don't know,
that.
bro. What do you mean, y'all? I don't
I
go
don't
to SRB, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Anyways, bro.
Microaggression.
Damn, it was that
Yeah.
shit then. That's pretty crazy.
Anyways, Brevski. Yo, okay. So, what do we need to talk about? Let's recount our weekly goals.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And then we can talk about motive shared goals.
Real
I'll
shit.
start. So, man, this week was about. I was operating at half capacity.
It's okay,
Excuse
bro.
me, I just got signed out of all my notions. Yeah, I was operating about half capacity. Like, it felt like I was in full swing of just doing shit during the summer, but I was still sleeping in, not running.
It's okay,
And
man. Same here, bro.
in
Other than
terms of in terms of the yeah, so yo, the number one thing, like the things, my number one responsibility was just upkeeping with my printing shop, and you already know I was running it. Man, let me share the screen right here. I'm gonna give y'all a look inside. Hadi, make sure that the viewers can see. Can y'all see my screen though?
I can.
Yeah.
All right. So
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry.
so yeah, I mean, you know how it was, just doing some woodworking, which I've never done. Obviously, spent way too much money on this shit because I had no clue what the fuck I was
Wait, I
doing.
can't see what you made, bro.
Are y'all seeing the Finder?
I'm just
No,
seeing.
I
I'm
see
just
your
seeing
Discord.
Discord.
Oh,
I see my face now.
does it not move with it?
I think you have to close Discord. You have multiple
Oh,
desktops.
my fault. It should be good now.
It
So,
does not have double monitor, bro. No way.
so yeah, you know, doing
shit.
some woodworking. We'll post on Snapchat.
Ooh,
And then
classy.
yeah, like, you know, just like that,
Thanks,
bring it
Mom.
together.
Wow,
So
you have
in the end, yeah, bro. I'm really happy with that because I don't know. I just think it's sick. You know, I like art. Obviously,
Wait.
I
What's
like
the
photography
what's the
shit.
full thing, bro? Where's the full thing? Did you ship it off already?
Actually, I did. I was kind of kind of stupid because I took a snap of it, but then I sent it to somebody. So I thought I was like taking a video. Anyways, I'll have some more to show tomorrow.
You're gonna take more
And you
canvases,
know,
bro. You're gonna make them yourself.
yeah, I'm selling them. So
Find
in terms of the first one,
a way to automate that, bro.
sorry,
Gotta find a way to automate
no,
that.
no, because and Andrew Tate talked about this. It's like for me, automation is like, let's think of it as technology, and I'll only automate something after I'm doing it at scale, because I'm gonna basically I don't have enough experience building them to see what problems come up to account for that in the automation of it. And at the same time, it just doesn't matter. It would the upfront the overhead cost of automating it would be so much that it won't matter. And I was going to talk about this on Snap as well. Like, for example, that the canvas took me a ridiculous amount of time, that first one. However,
Streaming your screen.
I sorry, oh,
You're just streaming your
sorry.
screen.
I fulfilled what the fuck? I fulfilled order for just basic posters this week within about like literally from receiving the order to printing it to putting it into the box to print the shipping label and having it ready to go bring to the post office in about 10 to 15 minutes. The first time I did that, it took me like hours, days, just figuring this shit out. So, you know, these sort of like economies of scale, quote unquote, or whatever, are first reached just by repetitions, and then I would automate it out. But again, like, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, thinking about it from some more of a profit standpoint rather than automating stuff for the sake of automating it. So, for example, how would you automate creating a canvas?
Fuck, it'd be $1 billion industry idea.
That's right, and depending on whether this will make sense or other things will make sense, depending on the art, which I can't predict, I might end up having a facility that does it on auto. But like there's a lot of different things that play into this. Like for example, you'll see Amazon still being like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, employer in America with their warehouses, just because it still makes sense for them through some sort of analysis to employ humans. So, anyways, the point is like in business, I'm always looking for what is the point that I need to get really right now. Like this was a mistake with buying the printer. I should have sold post it knowing that I am going to be a B2C seller. I should have sold posters from that are like printed on demand by somebody else, and then just made zero profit off of them because of the high cost, in order to validate that I can market them. And then if I would have actually had good cash flow there, as in I would have had sales volume from just me marketing, getting $0, then I could have invested in the printer in order to start making a profit off of it or lowering the cost or whatever. So that's
right.
typically what I'm looking for in business.
You're right. However, I do say that buying that printer forced you to actually commit to it, which is really good.
Oh yeah, the printer's fucking sick.
And now the downtime costs are fucking minimal, so.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the finances, it's still bleak, but it's gonna turn around, and this goes into my kind of understanding that I need to learn business and run businesses at the same time. It's not about one or the other, because like for example, like on that canvas, like I was fucking stupid. Well, actually, it got sold by accident, which kind of forced me into creating it. I was gonna return the money, and then I was like, "Fuck, let me just create it," and that was kind of dope. But I mean, I'm actually fucking stupid. I paid the same amount for shipping as the person paid like their whole order for it, and it cost and like at unit cost, it cost me $40 to make. So I mean, there was, but the thing is, it was a first round. Like there was a lot of waste that went into it, right? So they paid 35, cost 35 to ship. I spent 40 in terms of the unit cost. Like that's what I'll be expensing. So yeah, like this kind of shit, with more sophistication, but also just with more like training in the theoretical aspect. Like I can, like, for example, sometimes, let's say 1 hour of training theoretically could lead to 30 minutes of sophisticated planning in order to be able to be efficient once you actually do it. Rather than without training, I might spend 2 hours of doing the same sophisticated planning, just kind of figuring it out. So, I mean, there's different aspects to this, but the point is that it's not just like for me, it's not a purely just do thing.
Of course.
I do, especially in business, because it's not just coding. I do get value in doing like academic work, and I mean, yeah, it's important for me to find more ways to keep myself accountable, more ways to compare myself against other people, so I don't get a false sense of where I'm at. But again, all these things need to be put on top of things that are already true and understood in society. It's not about neglecting what society says. I think most of the time, if I neglect what society says and then add in what I know to be true instead of it, then I actually might be going behind. The advantage comes from accepting what society says, going hard on it, thriving in it, and then also adding on what I know and also thriving in that. Like that's where I can find my advantage a lot of time. And again, absolutely, there is like everything is nuanced, but it's just a turn of perspective from where I was at the start of the year. And with that, I'll talk about one of my goals, which was to put into writing a reflection on the year, and that goal was not achieved. But let me talk about this here. So I've like pounded so many things like down to the ground, like just kept talking about them, and I did write a longer piece at the end of the year, reflecting on my life backwards. And at this point, at this point, I'm not going to do a big piece of writing right now. For one thing, I am just in the process, but I will just offer a quick reflection on failure. So I'll share my screen again. This has been definitely a year of failure so far, but I don't particularly care how many times I fail, as long as my failure is correlated with my success. So if I actually succeed much less times than I fail, that doesn't really matter. In fact, if that's correlated, then I would want to fail more. And this is probably what I can. This is probably one of the only things that I can sort of deterministically say is true about my progress in life, from where I was at the start of the year to where I'm at now. And it's really just that the progress has been in moving from identity and motivation and these sorts of things, these holistic things, to like more like grounded things, like for example, actually increasing my sales, increasing my profit margins, researching other industries. So there's this thing that those two Y Combinator guys said, which is that you have to interview your customers, and you may think that, and at the start you may think, oh, I know this product well, why else would you go into it? But that's the thing about making a startup. First you naively cross the line to make it, and then you realize that you're fucked. But you kind of have to naively cross the line in the first place in order to realize that you're fucked, in order to even go into it, and then you realize that you're fucked. But it's like it should be too late to go back, and then you figure it out. So before I was naive. Not saying that in a bad tone. That's kind of what everybody says, right? Like, oh, you're naive. That's why people try to be successful, right? Searching for identity, something that's clear now. There was a lot of and this is a big point in terms of the progress. And this is like a general history concept that I don't understand too well, but it has to do with this idea that in the now, it's hard for us to understand well what the context really was to be in the moment that we're studying. Like, it's easy to think about where we are now and think about historical events and not really acknowledge the massive progress that had to happen, the massive amount of action that had to happen just to push the needle to where we are now. And this is the thing with searching for identity. As I was going through some of my journaling from the start of the year, during the summer, like when high school still ended, I was still writing about acting on how other people thought of me. And now this is a subject that I cringe at because I want to focus on things that are, much more like professional. But like truly, just if anybody at all thinks that because my business hasn't succeeded in the way that I said it would, I have not progressed, you are missing the actual magnitude of how much I've moved on these holistic values. Like the place I'm at now versus where I was at in July is ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to read back the journals, but the things that I was writing about were actually night and day. The place I was at was actually night and day, and a lot has had to happen. And I know that because it was an emotionally very tough year for me. So I know that there has been a lot of progress in this area, and I just wouldn't take it for granted. That's not to say that, I am failing on the business side, but it's not like I'm doing nothing. And then finally, I was ambitious. And so, I'm excited to, make the jump into, entrepreneurship and whatnot and achieve success. And then after, which is where I'm at now, I make the jump and I realize, well, shit, this is actually really hard. In the moment, I don't have what it takes. Well, fuck. And the idea is that, you cross the bridge and you can't go back. And now I'm trying, clearly, failing, clearly. But, one thing is still the same as before. I'm still ambitious. And the only thing that I can, the only thing that I'll sort of predict is that this is the one thing that matters. It's still trying. I'm not trying to make a good ending to a story, but it's the only thing that I can, that I can really work off of, and the only sort of point of validation that I'll put into the ether about me, and the only reason that you should continue to have faith in me, let's say, is that I maybe, as your kind of boss said, like, oh, I was like that too. I was really ambitious when I started. But the thing is, as I was alluding to earlier, or talking about earlier, ambition is a thing that you need as well as actual skill. And when you're young, you don't necessarily have the skill, at least not in my case. Maybe it's about getting the skill and staying ambitious once you have the skill, so that then you have both ingredients. You both have the skill and you have the ambition to actually go on and do something good with the skill. Attaining the skill has not set you back so far in the identity department that it no longer really matters. You're just going to, work for a company and do your best, in a pretty stagnant position, and your income will, just move with inflation. So that's that. I'm trying, I'm failing, and this is probably exactly what I need to be doing to become successful. So despite the fact that I'm not in Los Angeles, and I'm not, on my way to make $1 million in profit from my business this year, there is, still plenty of reason to think that I'm gonna eventually be in LA and eventually make $1 million, and then even more. As long as I keep trying and failing, and at the same time I'm gaining skills, the equation seems to play out. And this is what we talked about before the call. As long as people keep walking into the door of the office every day, in the morning and leaving late at night, that business is still running. And so as long as I keep showing up every day, there's nothing more that I can really add here. But yeah, so that's the general reflection. And I think that it's pretty fair.
No, that's actually incredibly profound.
Yeah.
And I really love I really love the show and tell there. I wrote it down as well.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we definitely should have show and tell every single pod, bro. We definitely have to have something to show.
So I've long time that I've been thinking about the bro, more definitely. I mean, we've been talking about content. It's gonna increase. Motive 20, 30, whatever. Yeah. Like, come on, guys.
Absolutely, bro. Like we got this. I like that. I appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, bro. Like, no, I really like what you were talking about, man. I really like the way you put it. What I do want to say for one is that don't ever think that I will never have faith in you, bro. Don't ever think I'll never lose.
Yeah,
that.
I was talking to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Good, bro. Because bro, of course you're gonna get LA. There's never been a doubt in my mind, and that's the one thing that I think separates those who are truly naive and who will stay the course and be ambitious and actually succeed, and those who actually they concede and they fail onto whatever things that they're trying to get, and that's the delusion. And now, however right or wrong, my delusion is that we will be successful. The fact that it's there and it's rock solid and there's no doubt in my mind that anything would be different is probably indicative of the fact that it will be true. And I mean, we already can infer why. So
yeah, as long as you have it in perpetuity, then again,
exactly.
You keep walking into the office every day, the business is still running.
Exactly. Like, I will never not keep walking into the office. Like, there'll never be a time where I say, maybe I should do something else. Maybe I should be mediocre. Maybe I should get a 9 to 5 and work until I'm 45.
Right. The content will build up over literally decades. So absolutely. And people will watch back, and they'll watch now and they'll see, and like things will fall into place.
And I see that within myself, and I think that's also equally attributing to my inefficacies, to which that delusion gives me an idea where it's going to happen no matter what. And I think it gives me a false sense of security. And frankly, something that I've been dealing with a lot lately is, and I've been thinking about it so much, is having to deal with responsibility, in the sense that when, like, we've grown up in such a time where kind of everything was granted to us, and it is corny as fuck to say that, these kids,
bro,
these kids get
things
everything.
Things around these topics, like, a lot of people say it's corny, but I felt it this year. And one thing that I've also thought about this week is that I used to think I was a little bit more mature, and then I kind of was back with the pack as I was, integrating myself. And now with these realizations, I feel like I'm again a little bit further ahead. So what I want to say is that I've heard a lot of this is really stupid, Andrew, and it's come from everybody who is either a bit ahead of me or a bit behind me in terms of being in that place.
But those people don't matter.
I really haven't talked to anybody. I really haven't talked to anybody who is in this point in time at that place. So this responsibility shit for us right now is super real. Like this, like okay, fuck, like this is adulthood. Like things, at least for me, like things are not as happy as they were 24 hours ago. Like this is really real to us right now. And again, the only time that I've heard Andrew, this is stupid, is from people who will be there. They're just not there right now, which is fine. It's not like a
Actually, I wouldn't
you know
even
what I'm
take
saying?
those. I take those advice with a grain of salt. And I do say though, people who are slightly ahead of me, I think give the most valuable advice. Just it's still a hit or miss when it comes to advice anyway. But I think listening to people who are just a little bit further ahead is way more valuable than somebody who is ahead because they're playing the game and they're playing it better than you. That's your competition. The people at the top aren't your competition
That's
yet.
true.
So and they've
And
been
if they're
playing the
really
game.
trying to help you, then the problems that they just faced that you're facing are right at the top of their head. Somebody further away, they'll forget the nuances.
And moreover, they'll give you solutions to the problem, not saying you can or cannot.
In fact, if I could talk to myself in 10 years versus if I could talk to myself in like 1 hour, but like in perfect, like as in like every moment of the day, I could talk to myself in like 5 hours. Like I don't know, but all I'm saying is like,
I
you know what I
agree.
mean? If like it would be more valuable to talk to myself in 10 years if I talk to myself once. However, if I had to talk to myself, every hour, it might even be literally more valuable to talk to myself in 5 hours because it's like the person 10 years ahead, like they're just but it's like I can't really connect the dots.
No, yeah, no, absolutely, bro.
Yeah. But anyways, you were talking about the responsibility.
Yeah, and yeah, I was gonna continue on that. Like, it's been really hard for me to accept that this responsibility is like in my hands, and it's been even harder for me to accept that like the choices that I make. Like, I think this has been quite an issue for maybe a couple of months now. Probably ever since January happened, honestly, ever since the first, like truly coming to terms with having to take responsibility for not only myself and also other people around me. And in times where I actually have the utmost opportunity to take action, I haven't. And that has been such a disappointment on my end.
BRB chat.
And I get so frustrated at myself for that. And moreover, it's just been it's like really hard to grasp the propensity of which I have to act on. If I don't actually take advantage of the moment and I don't actually like seize everything at my disposal, I'll actually fall behind. And this week, I think has been most indicative of falling off I have ever come close to, because I imagine it like a bunch of barriers coming in front of you, and every time I have to do something, there's so much friction. And I have to swipe away all these barriers. Like I'm clawing through and I'm running, rampaging, trying to push them away. And this week, I had no will to even try. And because of that, I stayed in like literally a hermetic state for the entire week. And that's unfortunately why I couldn't accomplish most of my goals. And that's also unfortunately why I didn't really do much and just sat on my ass. Actually, just lay down in bed for the whole week. And it was really just me just thinking like it was that mentality of like, God, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I can just wait, give me a break. And it's not even about discipline, but it was more about denial of the fact that I had responsibility. And I didn't want to accept that because I just wanted to relax, and it's not even relaxing because I was more stressed of that. But
yeah,
it always comes to a point where like I have to get through those barriers, and I did so on Friday. And it's like night and day how I see the world when I'm in such a frivolous state. And it just roars at me that that's the discipline that I need to have, because other than that, it's more or less just an illusion that I put to myself because I'm just scared. But the courage will come once the consistency comes, and I deny that I haven't even gotten the hang of that. And so it just comes back to the same issue where I've just not been disciplined and I haven't been consistent, and it puts me back into really horrible positions. So I need to really be adamant on keeping the pressure high, because I work best when that pressure is high, and that happens, like, for
Yeah,
example, in school, and I get my shit done then. However, when it comes to other things, there's no external pressure. It's like, oh shit, it's all in my hands now. Like, I have all the responsibility. And I really don't want to I really, like, for some reason, I think I don't want to go through this without somebody holding my hand. But the reality is that nobody will ever hold your hand ever again. And I I think I just need to actually, like, I need to actually just get my shit together, frankly. And this is not stuff that Cal knows, so she has no there's no weapons against that. But honestly, part of it is probably because she can smell that off of you. I think people can smell the insecurity and the doubt that you have within yourself. And I think maybe for the past, like since July, I lost a lot of self-confidence in myself. And I think not having arrogance has been directly proportional with me not being um so fiery in my action. And
yeah,
I think I just need to go about and I think I just need to go about and fix some things that I'm doing, because I'm well, it's not even fixing things that I'm doing. It's more or less just waking up and stop being such a big bitch baby,
yeah.
because I
Look,
have been continuously.
we got 16 weeks. Man, we're on it. Like,
1 week I wasted. It should have been zero, frankly. It should have been zero.
the, I'm not gonna try to lay out my whole context, but you know what I've been on. Like, I've been thinking about principle, and the fact that in me, like, I've always had a personal, like, internal oppression towards, like, egotism in any way. So at least for me, like, I don't know, when I think about like a typical 9 to 5er, like, they just get up every day and then they do their thing, right? And you could call it, like, as an entrepreneur, it's harder to, and just like as an artist or whatever, it's harder to, you know compartmentalize, like, oh, what do I have to do, what do I not have to do. But, like, you can just call them, like I've seen people call them. One thing that really resonated with me was when somebody called them my responsibilities. Like, it was just this YouTuber who just, like, he's a YouTuber, so it's kind of, it's a little bit weirder. But when I was reading his book, and all he said was, this is one of my responsibilities. It wasn't a self-help book, it was like a biography, but he just said, now this is another one of my weekly responsibilities. Like, doing this YouTube show every week is another one of my weekly responsibilities. Like, you could call that whatever, but the point is, like, at least in my mind, like, for me, it's not about trying to be overly successful, but just as a I try to not take pride in this. Just as a adult human, I just wake up every day. I brush my teeth. I put on clothes, and realistically, I might talk about the kind of generational thing or whatever. Like, for example, there were times when, literally, because for me, like, I'm super fluid with things, right? Like, there's no line, because I think about everything so logically, and peel away all of what kind of
Mhm.
society, like, implies. Like, so literally, it came down to, like not doing my homework and not brushing my teeth was very similar. I've been in months where it's like, fuck, man, like, I really don't want to brush my teeth right now, and then I'm like, and then literally there'll be times when, like, I didn't brush my teeth tonight. I didn't brush my teeth in a span of 24 hours, just because, like, for me it's so linear. So, as you know, at least the point I'm in now, but I do believe that it's been throughout my whole life. Like, I'm really looking for a different way to justify it for myself. How do I do things, and something that's more based in principle, but also doesn't rely on any sort of thing that might be associated with ego. I don't know. It's just that simple. Again, like I think about
I've been
like
thinking about that.
if you were
I've been
thinking
thinking
about
about that a
the image,
lot.
right? And
I
the
know,
thing
I
is,
absolutely agree with you. And that
where
was my initial
like I'm
approach.
19. I've never even considered being 19. Like I've considered being 18, but I never even considered being 19. And it's like fuck, man. Like you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, for example, John, like you don't have your driver's license. Like I'll call you out on that. The reason that that's weird to me is because it's like I don't know. I just feel like it's just something you have. Like not on anything else. Like it just
No, I
feels like
agree.
something
I
you have.
agree. I agree.
And it's like so
It
it's
is
like
like brushing your teeth. It's like washing your hair,
and
bro.
and the thing is,
It's
a
smelly.
lot of these things.
It's smelly.
Right, and to me the reason it's been part of adult. Sorry, I'll cut off
No,
ASAP. But
sorry.
like the reason it's part of adulting is because one thing that sort of occurred to me is the the reality of like for example nepotism and like just like how life is unfair. Not in like the more so childish way when you like see somebody not be able to eat food for the first time, but more so like pulling up to business school and just seeing how it works. Like I always really like Suits. I was influenced by How I Met Your Mother. I was influenced by UFC, but like seeing motherfuckers just like have to wear suits, despite they're fucking stupid or whatever. It's like it's just how it is. Like these kind of things that just exist, like or even seeing the working world, like just working 9 to 5, like it didn't stick right with my kind of Naval Ravikant view of the world, and this is kind of similar, where realistically some things are not justified. Like for example, it takes money. In my mind, fuck, I need to spend a lot of what is in my mind a lot of money in order to appear presentable. Like I even was, at one point I was and still super deliberate about the cost of shaving products for my face. Like just annoyed the fuck out of me. And I literally tried to like cut it down and fuck, like shit happened. But the point is that it's like, yo, like straight up, like I have to come, work my job, get a higher salary in order to be able to afford this, or else it's like, what the fuck am I doing? Like there is no, oh, I make $21 an hour. Like I cannot afford, proper t-shirts off of that, and that's just that basically makes me nothing. Like that makes me nothing. Like I have to, and that's why now I really realize like yeah, bro, like I need to hold down, like sort of in some sense, I need to hold down a 9 to 5 while I build, because I cannot be broke. Like otherwise, fuck, man, like I'm a kid, right?
Yeah.
I cannot. No, nobody can go and pursue. At least no man can go and pursue a degree that does not offer them a 75K plus job at graduation. Because
No, you need
because
money,
if you
bro.
make because if you make 60, like I see women do that and it seems okay. But
And I'll tell you what, bro.
every single woman I know that this is not this. I'm not trying to turn this into like a fucking fresh and fit. Like I really, to the
No,
world
no.
listening, I truly am like the most like I do not care about it. Like bro, I might as well be fucking asexual. Like I don't care about this shit. But it's like I have. I'm not trying to point out something about the world, but it's like every time that I've seen, a 21, 22 year old, 23-year old woman, just like pick up like a typical job, like out of university, like 55, 60K, which seems fine. They're always dating somebody who is like from engineering, who is from CS, who. So it's like they're not.
And on
And
that,
if you
bro.
look at it from
And
And if you look at it from the side, they wouldn't seem. Yo, one second. If you looked at it from the side, it wouldn't seem like there's some like it's not about their looks or whatever. Like it's not like they seem like normal ass people. They seem like normal ass people. But yo, you just cannot be coming from a psych degree because you're not gonna make cash. It's
absolutely.
it's just that simple, right? Like there's some things that just need to happen. I
And
respect it.
moreover, on to your point, just to support you, bro, like as a first year in university, I don't know if this is universal for every university, but for us, especially in software engineering, it's mandatory for people to hold down a first co-op. I didn't do that
Right.
because I didn't want to have the mandatory co-op. I didn't want to go through their system, but I'm still doing that. And when I see people, there's so many people who didn't get internships, and that is smelly. It is smelly because
It's right. It's like
all
it's
of
like
them
it's
could have
not
gotten it.
unacceptable. It's not unacceptable from our sort of the high standards that our vision
Absolutely
and
not.
ambition and naivety try. It's just it's
BO.
unacceptable
It's
from like
BO. You don't look go up to someone who smells bad and you think, oh, you smell like shit, unless you really know
you're
them
not
and you
middle class. Basically,
should-
you're not middle class. Basically, we'll talk about it like that.
exactly.
You're
It's
not
like,
middle class.
oh, what's this guy smelly? Let me just like step back because frankly, they don't have the will for themselves to keep themselves together,
Yeah,
and that's
and that
insane. That's
the point I'm
insane.
making, not from the standpoint of yo we're top whatever. No, not like
It
At
really
least
is.
for me,
Just
I am
scouting.
not. I am no longer comfortable in some sense. Because I don't think it's necessary, so I'm not comfortable to try to become top 0.1% by going below middle class. And in some sense, it really doesn't make sense once you're
I
above the
agree.
age of 19.
No, absolutely not.
And that's the
You
thing
can't,
with
you can't
the
time
internship that's
that.
interesting is like I feel like like for example in CS we're all super worried about the first internship for example because and because you want to make the $30 you want to get to the 25 the $30 the $35 an hour from the first internship if you can. But the thing is that it's like a lot of times we're like, oh, but it's still the first one, so it's okay. But in some sense, it's like it's okay if you're still a kid. But again, you
We're
cannot
not kids. We're not
survive
kids.
as an adult.
We're
You
not
cannot
kids.
survive as an adult making $25 an hour. So it's like you have to get to the 30. It's
Mhm.
it's just that simple. And that's
And if
why
you're a year behind
as part of my goals,
everybody,
I will right.
if you're
That's
a year
another
behind,
thing.
you're going against
That's
other
another thing.
people who are your age
With
who
the gap
are
year,
now
right?
eligible for that.
It's chill. Right. And just to be clear, what I've been saying over the past few weeks when you haven't really been on this wavelength as much as I have, is that just because I'm here saying these things does not mean that I am still not going to do everything in my power to fucking be 0.01% and still be an artist. That's not what that means,
Mhm.
but it's just where I'm at now, where I do sound like that older guy, but maybe he just lost the ambition while achieving, this kind of real shit knowledge.
Of
In
course, of
terms of
course.
that gap year, for example, you might talk about how in some moments you just want to rest, but the way, at least for me, is like there is no logic to this. There is no the same way that you brush your teeth. I can't like it's not that I fucking am chasing something or I'm running away from something. I just can't rest because I'm not fucking below middle class. And it's the same thing with the gap year. I might become fucking spiritually 360 dimensional fucking transcend, bro. Instagram on fucking fire, crazy. I'm an artist because of my gap year. But on the other hand, it's like, fuck, I'm in high school. I don't know. That you know what I mean?
Of course.
I might have some crazy ass shit that could happen because of that. But unfortunately, I was not born to a billionaire. So I was born to a middle class family. So my first instinct is to continue to be middle class at the very least. And the reason that I say that again is that I just don't think that that takes away from becoming upper.
No, absolutely, I agree. It's not even like quote unquote being middle class. It's more or less enacting in your best interests. It's playing the good position, bro. Because with where you're at, like we have to keep our head above water, and we can't deny that. Like it's pretty simple. It's pretty damn simple to say like, yeah, we need to survive. Like these people who
Just
are
like it's
taking
simple to
these
brush your
gap years-
teeth.
exactly. Exactly,
And
just like you need to brush
and
your
that's the
teeth, bro.
thing. The thing is,
Because if you have somebody brushing your teeth for you, well, you're not going to be concerned about thinking about it. However, it's not like we want to brush our teeth or work out or go out and do these things. However, it's up to us. It's our responsibility to do these things. And but for me, it's been really just like assuming more responsibility and just being pretty much scared of that. And it just takes courage to do so. And I continue to try and go through it. But that's the thing, right? Like, jumping over that bridge, you might miss and you fall into the water, but I'm going to come back up anyway. And regardless of the fact that how hard I am on myself, which is still not enough, you could say that I'm not stinky at least, and that's the bare minimum. And that's all we're saying. We're just saying we're not trying to be stinky, and that's what we're talking about because you need to make sure that you climb that step. You make sure you break the barriers so that you're not stinky, and then you can go and smell really nice with that Versace Eros on you.
right? There is something, and and the reality. If you look at it statistically, most people do go from middle to the Versace. They don't jump, which it doesn't really matter how it happens. And some people do the issue. We may at some points, like for example, when they were building Notion, they almost lost all their money. They couldn't afford. They became stinky. So, but they moved to I think some Asian country for in 6 months, 9 months, whatever. They just grinded their programming every day. So that's like some let's say quote unquote kid shit, right? And you might see me do this. You might see me do this a lot throughout my life in order to just make it, and then in the end get the reward. However, when that happens, it's important to actually make shit work because 99% of the time for most people, and I know the reason I'm saying most people, not me, is because is not because it's not me, but because I actually know this, like from talking to people. like in any sort of case. Like for example, 90% of the time when people will go away from their prior routine in order to try to sort of, circumvent something to get a reward, 90% of the time they will fall off. It's not that their luck didn't play out. They will just fall off. And I've seen this within myself, but I just know, like, people will say this to me, like, straight up, like, a lot of times. Like, I've heard people talking about, like, working out or whatever, where, like, people trying to bulk, for example. Like, a lot of people have talked about getting fat when they're bulking, which could be an example of this. But
that's good because and
yeah.
that's pretty interesting to talk about though. Like, risk, but not even taking risk. It's more or less a lack of sophistication because if you're not sophisticated when you're bulking, then you will be fat and you'll fuck up and you'll fall off. But if you're like a genius about it, if you're just sophisticated, you will not cross over that line. And that's something that we need to ingrain in our heads, is that we need to be aware of the lines that we should not cross and set the boundaries so that we can just gracefully pass up to them and then go back to where we need to be. Otherwise, we'll get out of bounds and we'll lose the game. And back onto what you said earlier about egotism, which I've been thinking about this a lot, and this may bring us to a different topic. However, I think I've been thinking so much about how people think and how the brain works. I've been super infatuated with that. The one thing that one thing about my quote unquote rest is that it's never rest. Like, I'm always like studying or watching or reading something.
Yeah.
And this whole week I was reading documentaries and I was like watching a bunch of YouTube videos about like innovative stuff in neuroscience right now. And man, I forgot his name, bro. But it was talking about how like neural networks in the brain work, which is a little bit, I'd say actually a lot different than how mathematical neural networks work. And there's so much speculation about it. But I've been thinking about when it comes to, and also thinking about arguments, and I've been super obsessed with that as well recently. And I've been thinking about like frameworks and how I differ from like a lot of people who we idolize, which are like, for example, you could say Top G, Jordan Peterson, and then like who else? I mean, Elon Musk as well, Sam Altman, for me, and a bunch of others. But what I differ with a lot of them is that I've been thinking about like how people form their arguments, and they form them in like primitive perspectives. And not to say that they're wrong. They're absolutely right in a lot of the things that they say, maybe like depending on the debate, obviously. But like in the framework of talking things in like a primitive way, I've started to see a lot of redundancy in that. And maybe that's just me, but I try to see past a lot of trivial manners. And I think this goes in hand with when it comes to actually decisions and taking action. And as you said, you're trying to remove that egotism. And for me, I also think it's the natural progression for us to try to avoid a lot of primitive and has-been behaviors. As in like for example, like framing a question about gender in terms of biological arguments. Because they're actually just yelling at each other, and it's two completely different arguments, and nobody really realizes that. And like conservatives, They are heavy on biology.
That's most of politics.
Exactly. Obviously, it's politics. However, like it's funny, and I've never heard this take before, where they're just out really just all like they're all just talking about progression, and they're all regressing at the same time. Whereas like the political side with the they're all just beneath me is what I'm saying. But
Nice.
all the ideologues,
Nice.
the leftist ideologues who talk about all these other gender nonsenses, and I do believe, actually, I'll explain why I believe the identity politics is obviously nonsense. But they play into a lot of socio-political norms, and they play into conformity along with social acceptance, and a lot of subjective ideas come into play with that. Whereas the big issue, which I also agree, is like, I'm not going to say anything on that, but a good argument that comes up, or not a good argument, a discussion is when somebody brings up the point, what is a woman? When they're talking about transgenderism, I'm all in support of transgenderism. I think that's fine.
We're so high
Absolutely.
level, like as in before when I was talking about gender pay. When we talk about these issues, we're not talking about them from the action in terms of our opinion on them. We're above that. We're
Of
using
course.
them in order to analyze
Exactly. Analyze the structure of the human
human
mind. And
argument.
that's what I'm trying to say. Because I'm
Right.
absolutely in favor of transgenderism.
Yeah.
I'm an ally to LGBTQ community, and I think all the shit that Jordan Peterson and Andrew Tate say about women and gender is actually really wrong. And I do genuinely believe that. Like
Yeah.
there's an
It,
interview
it's
where
it's it's almost like they have some sort of political affiliation or
mm.
incentive.
But on the
Yeah.
same token, I hate how the left is portraying a lot of other social norms on it, and I hate the way that they're going about it. And then the other argument when they talk about biology, when they bring up like, oh, like the men are physically superior, whatever, whatever, and I don't
Yeah.
think either of the sides are intrinsically wrong. I think they're missing the point though when we're talking about progression, because while yes, it is very true that these social norms are very important to our society, the goal should be to sort of actually identify exactly what those norms are that are causing these debates and break them down. As in, gender, which I think is synonymous to just identity as an individual, should not be construed as anything but just an individual. It should not be levied, and this goes to the leftist side. It should not be levied as a marginal group to be discussed as in terms of like anything but just people being people. As in, they shouldn't be treating themselves as an entire new ethnic group or an entire new circle to then have social norms be put on them, which goes back to something I said earlier, like in a lot of podcasts ago when I said, or maybe I've said this. I don't know if I said this on the podcast.
I'm
I said this before.
confused. If the thing you're about to say will clarify, then keep
It will
going. But
it will
otherwise, it's like
clarify.
I'm okay because I'm super
What I'm
interested in
saying
what
is
you're
that
talking about.
labels make no sense. If you give yourself labels, you're just giving yourself an opportunity to be attacked. So that's what I mean. Like they shouldn't give themselves labels. They shouldn't make themselves an entire group, and not because they're open to attack, because the attackers obviously should not be doing that. However, and on the terms of the right side, the right
But
spectrum,
there
I
is some
also
interesting senses because, like, as an example, I don't know if this goes into it or if it's a bit off, but as an
no, let's hear it.
example,
Let's hear it.
if I misgender somebody, and again, this sounds like I'm politic. I don't give a shit about pop. Like, if you know me, you know that I
Yeah.
give like fucks. But there is this interesting fact that you just made me think of is that if I misgender somebody and they say, "Oh, I'm actually this," then it's like, but why did I do it in the first place? Because I've never misgendered somebody ever before. So it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Right, right. And
Something's
that's
going
the
on here.
point. That's the exact point. What the fuck is going on right there? Because on the right side, when they refer to purely biological terms, it's actually a little bit regressive. However, when they put these ideas onto whatever groups that they believe to still exist, as in men and women, which scientifically, yes, there are males and females, and we have reproductive organs that are different, and our hormones change, and the way we think also changes to a certain degree based on evolutionary biology. However, they're just
Right.
imposing.
Other points are more relevant to like the societal context outside of the hospital.
Exactly, exactly. However, in terms of the societal context, the social norms that they continue to put out actually contradict a lot of the things that they are saying in regards to progression and in regards to what they're trying to say. And I think as a society, we live in a society. We should we should look towards trying to truly identify that long like these social norms that we impose onto each other are as subjective as all the names we give to each other. As in, if somebody calls me the wrong name, I won't be offended. But it is just that it's a name, and it's personal to me. And these genders and even political ideologies should also be treated as just individual things. When we try to put a science on it, which is not a science, it's frankly a pseudoscience because it's all subjective, you open yourself to a lot of avenues where your arguments all break down, and it's purely a logical thing. There is no factual basis for anything that goes on with identifying as a certain thing, and that's not wrong. I mean, so a scientific fact that it's not wrong for you to say that you are whatever group you're a part of, But the point is that if you are trying to combat social norms, you should not go about it in a way where you're trying to get more social norms onto people. In fact, what we should be doing is we should be
Mm,
ascending the conscious
interesting.
plane, and
That's
we
an
should
interesting
be
point.
identifying that none of these things even matter to begin with. TLDR, nobody gives a shit about any of these things. Frankly,
Well,
nobody gives
yeah.
a shit about politics
Yeah.
either, and we don't
It
either.
it doesn't actually put food on your table. It doesn't actually solve the housing
But
crisis. But
even more so, like at the end of the day, regardless of if I was a heavy far right conservative religious person that was completely against it, if somebody came up to me and they said, "Hey, I want you to call me this," I'm gonna do it. I'm going to respect you, and it's not because of like I'm ceding my position and
and
I'm
if I was
fucking to
that
it.
person, sorry, just
If you
finish.
were that person, I wouldn't look at you any differently because
If
we need to
if I was
look
that
at each
person,
other like people. And it's not a crazy concept to believe that we should just revert back to things that we've been taught at
and most
kindergarten.
people do, and most people outside of the U.S. do actually believe that,
Absolutely, absolutely.
because we don't have like 20 different news stations uh,
Exactly.
shouting fucking the
But
most.
regardless, like it still goes back into the point though, because like this still doesn't change people's minds for people to be indifferent. And I think the issue is that a lot of people, when they're indifferent, they see to whatever side best fits them. In the sense of they're still conforming. And I think we need to teach each other not to be so hive mindish to the sense that you shouldn't we still need to break down these social norms. My point is we still need to remove these social norms. And back to what we were talking about earlier when it comes to egotism, I think it all comes down to the same thing where a lot of the times we base a lot of our decisions on very primitive things and it doesn't see the whole picture. It's not very perspicacious of us to assume very limited models of reality. And even science, I would say, is a limited model of reality depending on how you look at it because that's exactly what theories are. They're trying to encapsulate certain parts of the universe defined in a very rigorous and logical manner so that we can look at a world in that sense. However, it's pretty well known that a lot of these things break down in certain boundaries. And maybe there is a science to social subjective ideas and identities that we assign ourselves with. However, if we base ourselves off of these social norms, we'll never progress to any direction because we're too busy basing our entire arguments off of things that are simply primitive. And in terms of the right, it's that the primitive aspect is that they're basing everything off of limited models that they themselves probably don't know much of. But even if they were complete evolutionary biologists, it still doesn't account for any of the social norms that do exist as humans. And then when you go back to the other side, they base a lot of things off of emotional sense, which is not wrong. And same thing as how science is not wrong to a T. However, it's illogical to base off of your arguments off of very very primitive and lackluster emotions that you yourself cannot control. And if we put these two things together, they don't work out because it's pretty much subjective things with non-subjective things that have nothing to do with each other. And I've seen it. I've seen it in real time where people who actually fall into some of these categories are incredibly articulate and very logical and on either side of the boat, and they too respect the same ideas that we need to break down these social norms, not in the sense that we should sort of impose new ones. And I think that's the issue that we're having. And in terms of developing our own minds, we need to really try
And
to,
motive as a community, by the way, because it
of
could be a
course,
testing ground.
yeah, true.
And
That
if
could
it
be very,
works, then it'll be very successful.
yeah, that'd be great, bro. That'd be great. Bringing the people together, bro. Centrist haven. But back
Right.
into when it comes to talking about ego, I've been thinking about that a lot. That concept of progressing and ascending our logic to less primitive ideals. Um, and this is why I've had trouble with like I guess well this is what I've been thinking about is that when it comes down to making decisions and removing yourself from the scenario, removing your ego essentially, um it's I think it's akin to trying to remove your primitive nature away from that. However,
which is
again,
why
while
it's
that is
so impossible.
exactly, it's a physical, it's still a physical thing. Our body and our mind are still very, we haven't evolved to become sentient beings that is absolutely above any sort of irrational thought. And I don't think that's a bad
We're
thing.
not the
And
singularity.
yeah, we're not a singularity, and we're not, and I don't, and the thing is, I also don't know if an AI would be equally as powerful as us as a result of that. And here's why I say that. It's because the emotion, I think, leverages a certain power that a purely logical system will not be able to leverage, and that is uncertainty. And while there are probability distributions that we can manage, I think that it's actually primitive to think purely logically in the sense of removing yourself from the scenario, as in like taking yourself up and being a bird's eye view. While that is incredibly important as a skill to have, or just an incredibly valuable mindset to have in general, it could play useful for a lot of scenarios. Removing yourself does not account for the fact that you are still in there. And if you truly remove yourself, you may not be able to make very rational decisions that levy the risk and reward pathways that emotions can deal with. For example, we could use very real examples, like even in a soccer game, if there's a quote unquote flow state that they talk about a lot, and it's a very like a spiritual experience, I find, when getting into that flow state. And I'm sure everybody has had that depending on what they truly are passionate about. Football for me, art, studying, doing what coding, I get in a flow state, things I truly enjoy. And I would
A
say
lot of
it would
people
be
run.
I would say it would be taking away from that flow state of refuting that there is no emotion in that. Because I would say there is a lot of emotion when it comes to getting into that flow state. And moreover, if I thought of things purely logically, even if I was probably a supercomputer, I don't think I would be able to make rational decisions that seem real in the metaphysical world that will actually make me go towards my own goal. I think I'd actually fail because I don't have any of that emotion pushing me. Because there's a certain uncertainty that comes with existing. Like we and especially when we interact with other conscious beings that have different levels of emotionality and rationality. If you don't have a certain level of emotion that you can tolerate and control, or rather that you can use to your advantage, then you'll be at a disadvantage when going against a lot of these people, especially if they're a lot smarter than you, maybe not as much logical than you, or as clear thinking as you, or mindful. But if they're just surely better than you may not be able to outwit them if you don't use any all your tools to your abilities. And this is why I've been saying, like life is super parsimonious, as Naval actually said. And also, in moreover, that I'm trying to use my emotions to guide me to proper solutions, because I think that I've been using this actually for my whole life, where I deal with the uncertainty with those emotions. Like, if, for example, if you're trying to speak with somebody and you're trying to get like one up, like let's say you're like Harvey Specter, you're trying to talk to them, like, I mean, it's quite obvious that in Suits he uses emotion a lot to win over his opponents. But moreover, emotion in himself allows him to increase the chances of him winning, for him finding new solutions or finding different ways of approaching the
Why
scenario.
is that? Why is that?
It's a different way of looking at things. Or moreover, it deals with uncertainty. It deals with the fact that it's not certain that he will win. It's not certain that he will find the right thing. However, his tenacity in the emotion that he is driven makes him go all out and makes him sure that he wins, because the writing says so, but also because he does not do anything else other than try to find a way to win. And if he loses, well, he won't feel regret because he did everything he could to win. And it's the same thing in us, where we have this ambition and we're quote unquote deluded to believe that we are going to win regardless of how we approach the scenario. It takes a lot of
Mm.
emotion that you cannot deny, that your ambition takes you to go towards something that you do not know, because it's uncertain that things could happen that way. If we were so certain about everything, then well, what are we doing? And not in that sense, like if a supercomputer was able to make incredibly logical decisions, but it didn't have access to the future information, and it also like impossible for it to be taking every single variable at once. Let's say it's just like a regular AI. If it doesn't have that good measure of uncertainty, its decisions that it makes may be faulty because while it is taking a lot of information, the next step could be super calculated, but it won't affect all the other uncertain positions that happens, and then it could misstep regardless of how many variables we put into it, because there are infinite amount of variables that could change that exact scenario. And that's why in a very real sense we can deal with that because we have good models of the universe for one, and I think that the emotion deals with that level of uncertainty by guiding us in a good direction that frames it so that we can put ourselves in better positions later. I think I've always used this where, irregardless, and I think everybody does, irregardless of the fact that when we may be like down in the dumps, the emotions that we have towards something when we fail will drive us to try to win again. And people who lack that emotional drive to push them forward, their calculated decision, regardless of how incredibly intelligent they could be, their best next move in the position that they perceive that they could be in could be doing something completely unexpected of them that could put them in an even worse position. That's why you see quote unquote geniuses who are super smart, super depressed as well, and super unsatisfied with their jobs or their careers or their life or their love life, and they can't make proper decisions in those sense. And I think that's because if you don't leverage both your logical understanding of the world and your emotional side, and I don't even think those things are different. I think they're all the same thing. If your models haven't become simplified enough to intake all the information at once and use all your tools at your disposal to the best of your ability, you will not beat somebody who's doing those things. So I think, and that's why I think that I need to have some sort of arrogance about
and that's simple enough for me to even fully agree with. Not that I don't fully agree with your other argument, but I do encourage you to continue to develop it, because if you're right, then obviously there's a ton of value for all the boys, including me, in this. But I encourage you to think about it. How would you explain this? How would you convince a robot, or would this even work if a robot was meant to act logically and it had no emotion? It was just programmed a goal. How would you convince that robot that the best way for it to win would be to adopt or develop emotions? That would be interesting.
That's a great question.
But I'm also that's what I wanted to tell you. But I'm also interested in whether it connects to breaking down social norms.
I've definitely been trying to take in this. I've been definitely trying to refine this argument because I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think it's always been there, but I've never really identified it fully. But I really think it's just that like it's in terms of falling into a different category. For example, when debating something or having these social norms as well, is that we fall victim to assuming one model is correct. And while that is actually a very scientific process, and you know what? It makes sense because it's essentially like a mechanism of competition right now, which is going on. I suggest though that the new model would be to assume all these models together, and that's classically the right solution when it comes to science. Ironically, it's a model that has all the variables, and that's what we're looking for right now in physics, where we're trying to combine relativity with quantum mechanics, and these two things encompass within their realms, which is essentially two halves of the universe in terms of motion, that they encompass pretty much all the variables that have to be assumed into the equation. Like and for the case of to give a quick example, like Isaac Newton and his laws of physics, and his universal law of gravity, the reason why it was wrong is because it didn't account for the mathematical dimensions of time, and it did not truly define energy. In the same sense that relativity was able to, as you like the famous equation E = mc squared, it related it perfectly to how mathematically it makes complete sense. And then furthermore, with quantum mechanics, like relativity actually broke down when it came to very small things. Like I'm pretty sure it's the fact that gravity is far too weak for it to affect very small things. And so now we're dealing with completely different forces that we can't even observe ourselves to the same degree. And so on these two things, like they're two different models that kind of contradict each other that we have to try to figure out, and what all the scientists are trying to figure out to combine into one called the what is it called, bro? Quantum gravity theory of everything. In terms of the social norms, when we talk about these biological things, which I think are pretty primitive arguments as well, like we're regressing back into these social norms, like you know, feed men, feed family, women has that. But I'm not denying that the biology there is very real. Like I would say it. I don't know because I'm not a woman, but I would say that the difference in the androgenous hormones that affect our behaviors definitely affect everyone's emotional side when it comes to different decisions in life. For example, Jordan Peterson states, I don't know, I actually don't know if this is completely accurate, but he says a lot of women who are in high pressure, high stress environments in their careers, who are very successful, very intelligent, tend to have a lot of regrets, and they leave their jobs in their middle ages after working very hard at, for example, a law firm, because they just decided not to have kids earlier, and they go leave to live a full life.
Yo, real quick, can we get an IG post at some point?
Oh yeah, for sure, bro.
Because we're absolutely firing right now.
Yeah, of course, bro. But
bro, Shamar would clip all this. It'd be over.
Dude, Shamar should clip all this, bro. Shamar should get on the producer, bro. The producing wave. Anyways, but yeah, moreover,
Jordan
like
Peterson's example, yeah.
So Jordan Peterson, like talking about how I think it's safe to say that androgens definitely affect humans in unique ways. But when it comes to also the other social norms, it's the subjective experience is also very real. And while I do disagree on how we're approaching it right now by making up a bunch of subjective terms that nobody in anyone's mind is going to remember all of them, like unless we make a dictionary about that, but like
nor would it help anybody be happy. Sorry, it could. But
no,
you know,
it won't. It will not make anybody happier. Like
it's getting to an identity the wrong. It doesn't actually matter. Anyways,
it's putting way too much weight. Like this, the nuances we can like. I think we shouldn't get into the nuances because those tread a very subjective and touchy subject. And that territory is subjective, and these reasons should not be something that everybody should be going all hands about. However, I think it's very real that both of these things could be viewed as quite applicable to their own respective models. Because as Andrew Tate says, and I hate to quote him, but he said one time that
me too.
He said one time that
this is harder for us than you guys, whoever's watching.
Yeah,
every time it's like harder. It's harder for us. If you're cringing, we're cringing twice.
Dude, yes. Like, oh my god, we don't want to be here. We don't want to be here anymore. We want to move on about it. But like, I think it's a good quote where he said like, if everybody if like let's say society breaks down and we have none of our infrastructure anymore, and we're living in the wild in a survival situation, everybody's gonna revert back to the rules, irregardless of what they felt before. Obviously, that's also pretty subjective, but like I think it's pretty accurate. Even though there's some people
that's what I like to refer as to. Sorry, there's no reference here, but I take joy as you do in mentioning this, in pointing this out in people's arguments, that this is one of those arguments that, while completely true, it makes no fucking difference from anybody ever pointing it out.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And
because that would never happen, so that actually does not matter.
Exactly. Well, like even if it did happen, it's still. The point is,
it still wouldn't matter that you pointed out before.
Exactly, and it's the fact that like that is correct in that scenario.
Sorry, bro. 1 sec. Can y'all imagine?
Yeah.
I would say this to Andrew Tate. Bro, can you imagine? We just all in Andrew Tate's world. All right, we're just all like, oh no, where are the houses? Where's the electricity? Oh no, okay.
No.
And like 24 hours later, all the men are building shit and like hunting and shit, and then like all the women are doing what, like, nurturing whatever. All right, bro. And then all of a sudden, one person's like, no, nobody ever. Yo, yeah, it's like men gathering, women nurturing, nobody. Guys, he was right. He was
He
right
was
the whole
fucking
time.
right. What the
Bro.
fuck? No way.
You just see
Like,
all of a
no,
sudden,
nobody-
we're all like working our asses off to try to fucking survive, and then you just see the fucking song starts playing. Don't let me. He pulls up. He's like, "What did I say?"
Beautiful mode. That's actually
He comes in. We're like, "Oh no, it's Top G. It's Top G." He's like,
Stop, G.
"I said." He's like, "I said in no universe ever." You know
Yeah,
what I
bro,
mean?
exactly.
Like nobody would be like, "Yo, he was right, bro." The whole, me just like on the motive pod. We're out here at the fucking fire gathering doing the motive pod, fucking IRL, because the internet does not exist for another 2,000 years. We're like, all right, guys, you know what just hit me? This whole time, the Top G said this. I was sleeping, like, I'll fucking, bro, I'll
You'll
run
smoke
over to
signal him,
your
bro.
fucking shed.
You'll
What's that?
smoke signal him, bro. You'll Morse code him a message, bro. Top G, eternal, bro. Obviously, that shit won't happen. But even if it did, it wouldn't matter because while it's correct there, it doesn't apply to everything else. And that's the same thing when talking about these social norms. Like
Yo,
if you want to apply
pause.
your
Hadi?
identity,
Sorry, one sec. Are you getting feedback?
what? Oh, that's me. Sorry. That's me. Anyways, yeah. So, it doesn't apply to everything, and neither would any of these subjective social norms as well. Like, yes, we should respect people for their identities. However, it makes no sense to completely reconstruct our language, when it is equally as primitive as the language before. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the labels that are being attributed to some of these things, and even anything, bro. Like in any discussion, when people add more labels to these things that are pretty subjective into our English language, purely for political reasons, it really like moves past what is the actual issue there. And when people talk about that, these silly little politics, it makes no sense because we're just playing the same game. We're not fixing anything. Because the real issue here is that we should just change our English language. And people say, oh, no, we shouldn't do that. I think it would be pretty easy if we just didn't have anything that was absurd. Obviously, like we spoke in English for like thousands of years, and it also changed through time. But like it's absurd to expect like an entire population of people to change their conventions to include more groups when it could be infinite many groups. And that's the issue. That's where it breaks down. That's where the model breaks down.
Interesting.
Because it makes sense that we shouldn't look at people as binary systems that express these two things, because we're not even a gradient. It's not even a spectrum. It's literally just like plethora, bro. It's a fucking water stream. It's a waterfall.
Plethora. It's not a spectrum. It's a plethora.
Yes,
Crazy.
bro. It's not a spectrum. It's not a gradient, because people don't fall between the lines, because people and their experiences are intrinsically unique. Like we can't define these people as these things, and it makes sense socially because back then, when we're referring to different kinds of people in regards of context, gender it was very important because there was other social norms.
You were talking about this like a year ago.
I know. I was always.
Bro, fuck. You've been on this.
I've been
trying to convince us of this, and I was like,
and
"What's this guy talking?"
I just think we need to level up as a species, bro. Like, and this goes more hand in hand with advancing to AI, because once we upload our consciousnesses, we ain't gonna be caring about any of that shit.
So, just to be clear, on the Motive app, when you sign up, you won't be inserting your gender. Instead, we're going to track every single point of information about you in order to gain a more equitable and a more realistic and personal understanding of what really defines your identity.
Absolutely.
We don't think that it would be right to just give you either a male, a female, or an undecided, or an other.
Because
We think that
we're
we
too
should use
progressive
advanced.
to even look at people like that.
That's
People
right.
are-
That's right.
We
People
will
are people,
assign
so-
you a gender. Motive. Mo and Tiv. Mo/Tiv.
The reason.
Mo/Tiv. That's your gender, bro.
The what, dude? Some of the the one great thing about the she/hers, well, except for all the transgender people who got happy because that is that the jokes that people could make were great.
Yo, they're so funny, bro.
They're so good. They're so.
And bro, like
I can't think of any
anyone
else.
could be like that,
I'm
bro.
I'm actually fuck, I can't think of any, but no, the point of thinking, the reason this is good for big data is because we need to have a continuous collection of your data
Mhm.
on the most personal level possible, not so that we can make more profit off of you, because we want to because we don't want to limit our understanding of your gender just to that.
Yeah. We want to
like-
include everybody, and so that because of
That's
that,
right.
we're breaking down all of our labels, and we're just looking at you, all of you, entirely.
Yeah, like for example, what's your heart rate? What does that say about you?
Exactly.
What's
You know, like we know you bought the Apple Watch, and we know you buy all those
Right.
clothes at Aerie as well.
How many? Yeah, like what's your breathing rate? What's your sweat level right now? What's your sweat level at this house? What's your sweat level at this house? Oh, this house needs a bigger motor.
Wait, hold
score.
on. Let me check.
Oh,
Let me check. This is the 14,000th time you blinked today, and we know that. We've been tracking. We've been watching. Don't think we don't.
That's not including half blinks, of course.
Oh, of course. Half winks, as you say.
Oh, sorry, no, wink, half, like you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're talking about. I was joking.
Okay.
Anyway,
I just actually that was
Prepare 4 different egg dishes.
Now, to go for the cooked on the and
That's Mikey, get your fucking
new restaurant. And now, the continuation of Hell's Kitchen.
Now that I have you standing here, I must confess my sin. From seeing the sights, there's something wonderful I do.
They all threw me under, segmented us as a team.
That was fucking intense.
They all threw me on the bus. You didn't help in the kitchen, and you're just hard to work with, and we don't know you. The fuck out of here. You made a bad decision. That shit was not fucking cool. We've been here, we supposed to be crew. We supposed to be down for each other. These my brothers in blue. Don't fuck me because you don't understand me. Don't sit around and plot. We don't do that shit where I'm from.
Jason has a temper, and I think it's starting to get a little ridiculous. You don't think this carries over to the kitchen?
Get the fuck out of here.
You're ridiculous to work with. Look at you.
Am I upfront, outspoken? Goddamn right. You gonna crucify me for that? The fuck out of here. You fucking with my life, my wife's, my kids, all our future. I'm not the weakest up in that. I am not. That ain't fucking me. And they fucking knew it. They knew that shit.
Jason.
Stop.
Oh my God. Jason just got fucking out of control.
I could break this fucking chair right now with my goddamn hands.
The boys are pretty screwed up right now. And they're all pissed at each other like we haven't right where we want them.
There's nothing you can say to come back and make that shit jail right. You can't. I'm gone.
After a miserable dinner service, Chef Ramsay is determined to fix the major problems he saw in both kitchens.
Right, good morning.
Determined.
Okay, last night we had some disasters with no communication, no camaraderie, and silence. What do all those three situations have in common?
Teamwork, Chef.
That's right. The only way we're going to get better from now on in is working as a team. Got it?
Yes, Chef.
So, today, Hell's Kitchen is open for lunch. The menu's very basic, very simple. Burgers, salads, fries, you name it.
Burgers and fries, not particularly difficult, but then again, I'm able to cook on a level that not many people can.
Each kitchen will feed their side of the dining room. Whoever finishes the challenge first wins. Doors open in 30 minutes. Let's go, in the kitchens, up. Let's go.
Chef Ramsay knows that to have more successful dinner services, he needs the teams to communicate and work more efficiently.
I got the onion rings. Okay.
He's hoping today's casual lunch will get the morale back and get both the blue and the red kitchens moving in the right direction.
Come on, ladies, we can do it. I'm cutting onions now. French fries.
All right, I'm gonna start cutting this stuff for salad.
We can do this, girls. The red team has not won one challenge. So we just have to stay focused, be in sync, and just do it. We are not losing another challenge. No, we are not.
We're gonna do salads? Yeah. We're gonna do salads together?
Yeah.
We'll work
Oh,
together?
you want to do it?
Yeah, you want to do it?
with me? Okay.
I ain't forgot about it last night, but I asked myself, Jason, do you want to be at the Savoy up under Chef Ramsay? So I got to do whatever I got to do, you know, be a team member, but watch your back at the same time.
Hot stop. Behind you, bro. Hot stop.
Let's go, guys.
Okay, let's go. Ready to meet your customers?
Yes,
Now, this bunch, they know the importance of precision, timing, teamwork. Jean-Philippe,
Chef.
let them in, please.
USC Trojans.
It was really awesome to see the USC marching band come in, to feel all their energy.
There's a lot of them.
The hair on my arms was standing up. I had chills.
I definitely am fond of cheerleaders of all teams.
Fantastic. Are you ready? Yes? Let's go.
Let's go.
Communication and speed will be essential.
Let's go, guys.
Let's go. Come on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Get it going.
With 100 band members and cheerleaders visiting for lunch, the red team and the blue team will each serve half the dining room.
I got the cheeseburger. I'm really hungry.
Seriously?
The team that finishes first will win the challenge.
Here we go, guys. On order, yes? On order!
Guys. Pay attention.
6 salad, 5 cheeseburger, 1 chicken sandwich.
Yes, Chef.
Jason, any answer?
Yes, Chef.
Can we have a team?
Yes,
Yes, Chef.
6 salads. Let's go.
Let's go.
While Jason flies solo on his salad, over in the red kitchen, Fran and Autumn are working it out together.
Now, 2 6s. Here you go.
Go. Go, you go, girl.
As far as the chopped salads go, we are getting them into the bowls, dressing them, getting them out.
Let's go. Salad.
Thank you.
I'm really, really proud. Fran and I kept it going.
We're gonna need a lot of fucking salad.
Here we are.
The red diners are starting to receive food, but over in the blue dining room,
1 salad. 1 salad.
there's not much to cheer about.
But I can't eat my helmet. Like, seriously.
Come on, Jason, first salad out. Let's go.
I think Jason's a little bit bummed out. I can sort of see it, and it made us drag a little bit. I feel like he's pretty good at holding a grudge.
Jason, pump it out. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Push those salads.
Just like this, here, watch.
Yeah.
Come on, Jason, the salad. Jason, answer me.
Yes, Chef.
Chef Ramsay was on me pretty hard about not talking back to him.
On order, table 2, 6 salad, 4 cheeseburger, 2 chicken sandwich. Jason!
Yes, chef.
Come here.
Yes, chef.
Every ticket I've called out, you're not even fucking responding to me, and now I'm getting pissed off, huh?
Yes,
Listen
chef.
to me.
Yes, chef.
This is like a two-edged sword. If I'm quiet, you know he noticed it. But the more verbal I am, it kind of intimidate my guys. So shit.
I got it going for you. I'm gonna put some condiments inside. Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Jason has finally delivered his first salads to the pass. Meanwhile, over in the red kitchen,
It'd be a shame we can't put out hamburgers and damn chicken. No!
Milka is showing her team spirit.
I want my burgers. We need our burgers. They're really thick. They're gonna take a while.
Where's the 3 burgers with the 3 chicken? Come on!
Chicken is ready. It's not the problem. I am not gonna lose another fucking challenge because we stuck the wrong person on the station. All right, you gotta get like some sort of organization, like you're in the kitchen, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got it. Jamie was like, I got this, and I was like, nope, we're not playing the I got this game. Those are Jamie's famous last words. So I was like, no, no, no. You know what? We're a team, goddammit. We're gonna get through this shit. I'm standing next to you, and I'm gonna keep my hands on me. Drive the bus? Yeah.
While Maria drives the bus on the red team, back in the blue kitchen, Scott's strong effort on the burgers is helping the blue team get ahead.
Push. Burgers anyway, no, chef. Yes, chef. Just keep pushing like this. We're good.
But not for long.
Scott! I've got a raw burger here. Come here.
Fuck, chef. Yes, chef.
I've got a raw burger.
Yes, chef.
Put your finger in there.
Gotcha, chef.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Sorry, chef.
Fuck off. Scott, check your work.
Yes, chef. Absolutely, chef. Come on, guys. Let's fucking win this shit.
While Scott has stalled the blue kitchen with his burger, Maria's help has Jamie's burgers moving quickly out of the red kitchen. And they've caught up.
Burgers up, guys.
Each team has
Three tickets left. 3 in the blue, 3 in the red. Come on, let's go.
Give me that chicken, man. It's raw. It's fucking raw. It's raw.
Come on, we go to win, guys. I'm ready.
Come on, bro. Ready. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready.
We got him. Let's go.
Hey, let's go, guys. Come on.
Let's go. Oh my God.
Let's go.
Touch it. No relish, guys. You're forgetting the relish on the burger. Oh, shit. My bag.
What's next on call? What do we got coming up?
Fries.
Come on, guys. Let's do it. Let's go. No. Right here. I got him.
Fries.
Me? Thank you.
Come on, get the fries. Fries. Go.
Fries.
Good. Season them. Let's go.
Fries.
Go.
There you go. Congratulations. Well done. Ladies won.
We won! Oh, we finally did it. We finally operated as a fucking team and we fucking won. I'm so excited!
I'm so pissed. I take full responsibility of it. It was a race against time. The faster team won. May not be the better team, but they were the faster team.
Thank you very much. Keep up the great work. Excellent. Okay, ladies, I've organized for you a very beautiful, relaxing day in the sun at the Malibu Beach Inn. Yeah.
You know, I don't really win too many things in my life. And to go out and put my feet in the sand, I mean, this is incredible.
Gentlemen, you'll be assisting the Heal the Bay organization, helping to clean up the LA River. Basically, helping them pick up bits of shit. And I've arranged some special protection. Look at those beautiful overalls, yes?
The yellow jumpsuits. You can't be serious, right? You joking.
That is there to make sure that you don't get smeared in crap. Off you go. You can enjoy it, okay? Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know, this is the first chance we've had to actually, you know, look more like our regular everyday selves. Got all glamorous makeup on. Having the opportunity to be a woman again is really fun.
It's a MILF outfit. You know what a MILF is?
No.
It's a mother I'd like to fuck.
You are so stupid.
Oh, fuck. We're on the bus.
It's punishment, so you don't expect to ride in a limousine.
The bus is just a horrible, old bus. No shocks. It's just bouncing and just raggedy.
Why? Why?
I thought we were going to be driving to some place where there was an actual river, not just this cement river.
Dude, it smells like ass out there. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm Nick, and this here's James. We're from Heal the Bay. You can see quite a bit of debris, trash, plastic bags, stuff that's gonna make its way into the ocean, and then into that same food that you guys are cooking in the kitchen. You guys wanna get cracking?
Yeah.
Do it. Where do you wanna start a pile? Anywhere? You guys want a piece of this chocolate bar?
Oh, wait, I got my hairspray for you, Jay. But that's red, never mind.
Oh, what the fuck's this?
Tires and wires and bicycles. It's crazy.
Dead body wrapped up in plastic.
This sucks. This totally sucks.
Oh my God!
Malibu, here we come.
Authentic, woody cars, pure California. You're never gonna see them anywhere else. Beautiful.
Girls, we deserve this, girls.
This is the start of a new beginning.
It is the start of a new beginning, guys. We kicked the boys when they were down, and now they are feeling really shitty about themselves.
Hey, anybody want to do the Olympic with me?
There you go. Use that shopping cart. There's another one over there, too.
A lot of weird things.
You get a chandelier?
Little chandelier, yeah. Oh, I got a muffler.
America, stop littering.
Hey, anybody need some rims for their car?
You are causing a mess.
Malibu Beach. Nice. Oh my gosh.
Hey, ladies! Welcome to Malibu.
What? What do you want? No. Yes. Okay, and what do you want? What do you mean it's not showing you? You're watching my Minecraft? No, you're not. Oh shit, wait. I cannot. Dude, that's too funny, bro. Wait. That's so funny, bro. That's so funny, bro. That's so funny. It was off the top of it. Did you like that? Yeah, did you like that parkour, bro? Did you like that parkour?
Here with this huge smile, and you don't see that often.
Come on, come down to the beach. Let's go have some fun.
Chef Ramsay is cute. He looks like a real person.
First of all, well done. I'm so
you.
happy to see you guys out. Right, one more challenge.
What the hell? I thought it was the day off.
I'm going to challenge you guys to a game of soccer. Now, you've got your team.
Yes.
Me.
Dude, that is epic. You can't lie. This will be the best episode by far. Me? No, one of my friends asked me to hop on queue a game. I'm waiting for it to queue. So I was just in the lobby doing parkour. I'm like, I was only on for like, I was on for 10 minutes till you saw. No. You want me to run it back? Nah, there's no way anything queues, bro. Camera 5? Camera 5. Camera 5? It might have been when I was AFK. Yeah. Yep. Alright. Okay. Yeah, aight, bro. Yeah, aight. It's just like that one episode from Black Black Mirror, yeah. Nice try, brother. Nice try. NT, NT. Precisely. Of what? Editor of what?
They really calculate.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we actually got this. Just like a regular game. Year. Okay. Yeah, I still can't believe he actually left. I'm surprised. Yo.